Assalamu alaikum, good evening, and Jummah Mubarak to all the beautiful people of ARY Digital. Well, we had two excellent back-to-back matches on a hot day, but I'm sure the crowd must have enjoyed. Let me first talk about the game between Karachi and Multan Sultans. But Multan Sultans were put into bat, scored 176 for 5, thanks to great knocks by Sohail Maqsood and Riley Russo, who made sure that they managed to reach 176, and not to forget the contribution of young Khushdil Shah, who scored a vital 44, which made sure that Multan Sultan could reach 176. Well, you have to give credit to Karachi King bowlers because they came back into the game thanks to Tisara Pereira, who bowled 3 tidy overs and got 2 wickets just for 12 runs. But 176 on that wicket looked just touch above par. But I'm afraid when Karachi started off the innings, they were a bit slow to get off the blocks. Sharjeel was unlucky to be getting run out. But by the time Babar picked up his momentum, well, they were a bit too late. And I'm afraid they did not get the support. Rather, Babar did not get the support from the rest of the players. Chadwick Walton did score 35, but he did take 23 balls. And by the time Tisara Pereira, who couldn't score anything, as well as the rest of the bowlers couldn't reach the master tricks of the veterans leg spinner Imran Tahir. So if I have to, say the finer points about this game, well, a lot of people have been saying that Babar probably played a bit slow, but he's this guy who plays this sort of innings, who pulls the anchor and makes sure that, the team is not let off. But I'm afraid he did not get support from the rest of the players. If he had got the support of guys like Tisara Pereira or some little bit of hard push by Chadwick Walton, you never know, Karachi would have chased this target down. But in the end, they have lost by 12 runs, which looks close. But no, this match, they were always chasing the game. But I'm sure Karachi would have learned the lessons from this game and will come back hard in the next match. Now, let me come back to you for the second game, which was between Lahore Qalandars versus Peshawar. Now, Lahore Qalandars, when they started the innings, they were struggling. They were 25 for 4. But you have to give credit to this young boy, Tim David, who scored 60 odd runs of hardly anything, given good support by Ben Dung. At the end, also the final touch given by James Faulkner. So they too managed to score 170 in their 20 overs. And when Peshawar Jalmi started chasing, they were very much behind. They lost 2 quick wickets. But the veteran again, Shoaib Malik, proved how to bat on this wicket. But I'm afraid he did not get any support. And as Shoaib Malik said at the end of the match, that it was Rashid Khan who broke the back of their batting by picking 5 wickets. 5 wickets in a T20, it's like getting a double 100 in an ODI. Trust me, 5 wickets in T20 is like getting a double 100 in an ODI. And what fine bowling, and that too in dewy conditions. All the West Indians were at sea. And in the end, I'm afraid Multan Sultans were very much behind the game. Rather, Peshawar Zalmi were very much behind the games. And by the time they came close, it looked that they will never be able to hunt it down. So let me now run through the points table. Well, Lahore Qalandars, after 6 matches, are sitting pretty with 10 points. Karachi Kings are with 6 points of 6 games. Islamabad United also on 6 points, but they have played 1 game short. That means they have played 5 games. Peshawar Zalmi are at 6 with 6. Multan Sultans got a lifeline after winning yesterday, are at 4 points with 6 games. And Quetta Gladiators are at 2 points after 5 games. Well, to discuss about both the games which we had yesterday, we have the head coach of ICC Academy, Qasim Ali, joining us. Welcome to the show, Qasim Ali. So let me ask you about the first game between Karachi and Multan Sultans. Now, Karachi had 170 to chase. Do you think they left it too late?
Yeah, and I think they struggled in the first power play. The power play was very difficult. I don't think the wicket changed too much. I think Multan had the momentum in the last 5 overs, obviously taking 19 off Amir's the last over. But I think you're right. Sajil struggled early doors, and both him and Babar sort of were not complementing each other's style. So they got off to a very slow start. And I think outside of the power play, with obviously losing Sajil and coming in with Gupta in, I mean, they only scored sort of half the runs that Multan had at the stage of the power play and also at 10 overs. So yes, they were slightly behind the 8 ball, as coaches would say. but they had an uphill task with obviously Imran Taher coming in with 4 overs as well. So that's not easy on an Abu Dhabi wicket, which is obviously quite slow. And effectively, the game got a little bit harder for them to sort of achieve the run rate that was that was required.
Fair point. Will come to Karachi's innings again, but before that, let's discuss about the batting of Multan Sultan. You see, they got away with a fine start with Rizwan as well as Maqsood, and then Railu Rusu giving the impetus to the innings.
Yes, I thought the innings timed it really well up until about the 10th over. After that, they sort of lost 2 very quick succession wickets with Russo and Rizwan, who I thought had an excellent partnership of 70 plus, and they did really well to set the innings up. I thought Maqsood played an outstanding innings to get 30 odd of so many, 18 deliveries, 19 deliveries, whatever it was. Effectively, I thought Multan have set that innings up really well, with Russo and Rizwan being the pinnacle 2 who held that ship really well. From a Multan point of view, they would probably like them to carry on towards the 15th over and set the platform up for the death. But I thought Pereira bowled really well to come in and get 2 very quick wickets.
But even though Pereira got them 2 quick wickets, you have to give credit to Khushdil Shah, who ensured that they managed to reach 170.
I thought he played a fantastic innings towards the back end, getting 40 odd in sort of 20, 30 balls. It was actually harder for him to come in and start to go quickly because the wickets were coming quite thick and fast with Pereira bowling, and there was pace off. There was a lot of variation. So he took himself time to get into the wicket, get adapted to the pace of the delivery, and then that final over was fantastic, and he really helped Multan Sultan with the momentum going into the second innings.
All right, now let's come back to Karachi's innings. We said that they had a very poor start in the power play, but finally, when Babar Azam got going, you feel Karachi missed the trick by holding Pereira back and sending Chadwick Walton earlier?
I thought I'm a big fan of Chadwick Walton. I thought he could have gone in a little bit earlier. I thought he could have gone in ahead of Zadan, the Afghani player. So I thought Chadwick is a big hitter. He's a big ball player and he's a big game player. And I thought that was set up nicely for him. Obviously, he had a little bit of luck getting dropped by Maqsood at backward point. But actually, his partnership with Babar Azam, I think they put on 70, 77, would have been the turning point of this game.
It looks like the game was close, but they were always chasing the game. Well, let's come to the second game, Lahore Qalandars versus Peshawar Zalmi. Now, at one stage, Lahore Qalandars were tottering at 24 for 4. But came that young boy, the more you see of him from Singapore, Tim David, he looks to be the star of this tournament so far.
He looks like an excellent find, and credit must go to the recruitment of Lahore and the fact that the scouts have gone out there and found a really good individual. He's big, he's powerful, he hits the ball hard. He's perfect for the dynamics of Lahore Qalandars to come in at 5 and 6 and take the game long. So he's perfect for that setup, for that mechanism of that team. And what a find from Singapore. Obviously, he plays in the Big Bash, but actually he's shown that he can play proper cricket shots as well and add power towards the back end of the game, which I think is an excellent find for Lahore.
Well, this T20 is a very unforgiving game. At one stage, Wahab had 3 overs for 7, and then the last over goes for 29 runs.
Yeah, they were in trouble at one point, early doors. What were they? They're 18 off the power play or something like that for 3 wickets down. And at one point, I genuinely thought because they were getting later on to the evening, the conditions were going to get worse, etc., etc. But actually what they proved to be is the longer you stay in that wicket, the more cricket aspects and cricket shots you play, you stay longer at the crease, you can adapt to the conditions a bit more. I think Zalmi missed a trick in trying the variations a lot more. I think Fabian Allen, personally, I would have probably gone with Shoaib a little bit more, just takes the pace off a little bit more. But Fabian into the left-hander, 2 sixes from Ben Dunk, back to back, sort of shifted the momentum a little bit.
But you rightly mentioned, that the more you stick around on this wicket, you can score more runs. And that's what Shoaib Malik showed during the chase. But he did not get any support from any of the players, barring David Miller a little bit.
Yeah, Shoaib Malik, I think, is, one of the best cricketers that's come out from Pakistan. I know there's been a lot of names that have come about, but I rate Shoaib Malik highly. I think he's still got a lot to contribute in the T20 leagues. He's a heavy performer in all the domestic and international T20 cricket. I think still he's got some quality to offer towards Pakistan, maybe towards the World Cup. He's mature. He can definitely, be the nucleus of a long innings.
And then you mentioned about the magician, Rashid Khan. He can't do anything wrong. 5 wickets, and I'm afraid all the West Indians were at sea against him.
Yeah, I mean, Rashid's been doing this for years with Afghanistan and these parts of the world. I mean, as you well know, you've seen him grow up in these parts of the world. He's been fantastic. And yesterday, another masterclass of showing how young spinners need to bowl on these conditions, on these wickets. You saw Imran Tahir with the same pace, same trajectory, bowl it into the wicket, slightly back of the length, stay hip height, and bowling tight lines. And obviously he's got a fantastic wrong run, which a lot of batsmen around the world, not just good batsmen, but exceptionally good batsmen around the world are struggling with this. And he's one of the best T20 performers in all the tournaments. He's got one of the highest dot ball percentages in terms of off his bowling.
Well, that were great insights from Qasim Ali, head coach of the ICC Academy. Very well said, Qasim. It was a great interaction with you. And we hope to catch you up soon in the upcoming shows. Thank you very much, Qasim.
Thank you, Anis bhai. I really appreciate your time, and hopefully we'll definitely do this again. I really enjoyed it. Thank you.
Well, to discuss further about what happened in yesterday's two games, we have notable journalist Shahid Hashmi Saab. Assalamu alaikum, Shahid Saab. How are you?
वालेकुम सलाम अनीस भाई, अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह। आप सुनाइए कैसे हैं?
अल्लाह का लाख लाख शुक्र है। तो मेरा पहला सवाल आपसे, मुल्तान सुल्तान्स और कराची किंग्स का गेम जो हुआ था, स्कोर कार्ड ये बता रहा है कि मुल्तान सुल्तान 12 रन से हारा। क्या आपको लगता है कि मैच क्लोज रहा?
ये मुल्तान सुल्तान 12 रन से जीता। दोबारा
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल, मेरे बोलने में गलती हो गई। मैं आपको देख के एक्साइटेड हो गया हूँ एक्चुअली में। एनीवे, शाहिद हाशमी साहब, स्कोर कार्ड ये बता रहा है कि मुल्तान सुल्तान 12 रन से ये मैच कराची किंग्स से जीता है। क्या आपको लगता है ये मैच इतना क्लोज रहा?
बिल्कुल क्लोज रहा, लेकिन थोड़ा सा अगर कराची किंग्स अपनी जो टेक्निक थी, जो उन्होंने स्ट्रेटेजी बनाई थी, थोड़ी सी बेहतर रखते। अब अगर तिशारा परेरा आखिरी ओवर्स में खेलने आ रहा है, जो कि अच्छा मास्टर ब्लास्टर है, वो आपका रन रेट ऊपर कर सकता था, वो एक बड़ी गलती थी। फिर मेरे हिसाब से नूर अहमद को खिलाना चाहिए था, जो लेफ्ट आर्म स्पिनर है। यहाँ स्पिनर ज्यादा अच्छी परफॉर्मेंस देख रहे हैं, आपने देखा राशिद खान ने इतनी अच्छी परफॉर्मेंस दी। मुल्तान सुल्तान ने बड़े पॉजिटिव इंटेंट के साथ शुरू किया था। फर्स्ट 5 ओवर्स 53 रन, फर्स्ट 10 ओवर्स 107 रन, बहुत अच्छा खेल रहे थे। 10 to 15 ओवर्स में थोड़ा सा पुश बैक किया कराची किंग्स ने, उसमें सिर्फ 23 रन बने, कोई भी बाउंड्री नहीं लगी। लेकिन एंड ओवर्स में स्पेशली आमिर के लास्ट ओवर में 19 रन जो लूटे, वो दैट गेव रियल इम्पीटस टू मुल्तान्स इनिंग्स, एंड मुल्तान वर आई थिंक अबव पार एट दिस पिच। फिर हमारी जब बैटिंग शुरू हुई कराची किंग्स की, तो शर्जील अनफॉर्चुनेटली रन आउट हो गए, बैकिंग अप फार टू लॉन्ग, और इमरान सीनियर का हाथ लगा, ही वाज रन आउट। बाबर आजम के ऊपर यही तनकीद होती है कि जो फर्स्ट 20-30 बॉल्स वो खेलते हैं, वो थोड़ा प्रॉब्लमेटिक होता है। 85 नॉट आउट ऑफ 63 बॉल्स, स्टिल हिज टीम ended on the losing side was a worry, और बाबर आजम को यही इंप्रूवमेंट करनी है। उनके जो उन्होंने जो 4 छक्के मारे, फर्स्ट केम before 50 and 3 came after 50, which has been a critical point in Babar Azam's batting approach. तो टीम शॉर्ट रही 12 रन, और ओवरऑल टूर्नामेंट के लिए थोड़ा अच्छा हुआ कि मुल्तान सुल्तान बहुत नीचे थे, अब 4 पॉइंट पे आए हैं, थोड़ा ओपन हो गया टूर्नामेंट। आज कोयटा ग्लैडिएटर भी जीत जाए तो ऑल 6 टीम्स विल रिमेन इन कंटेंशन।
वेल, सिंस आपने बाबर आजम की बात की, ये शायद हमारा शो थोड़ा लंबा हो जाएगा, बट मैं बिल्कुल आपसे बात करूंगा कि जो उनकी इनिंग्स की जो स्टार्ट होती है, अगर आप उनकी बैटिंग स्टाइल देखें, बिल्कुल विराट कोहली की तरह है। वो धीरे धीरे शुरू करते हैं और फिर मोमेंटम पिक करते हैं। तो अगर एक थर्ड पर्सन जो देखता है, और जब मैच हार जाती है, या पाकिस्तान टीम हार जाती है या कराची टीम हार जाती है, तो अनफॉर्चुनेटली ब्लेम बाबर आजम पे जाता है कि बड़े बड़े छक्के नहीं मारते। मैंने ये आर्टिकल भी एक पढ़ा था। बट अगर आप देखें, कंसिस्टेंटली एक बंदा 2 साल से परफॉर्म कर रहा है, और स्ट्राइक रेट भी उनके बड़े बड़े प्लेयरों से अच्छा है, बट अनफॉर्चुनेटली ही इज एट द रॉन्ग एंड व्हेन द टीम लूजेस। सो जैसा आपने बताया कि अगर तिसारा परेरा को थोड़ा आगे भेज देते, तो शायद वो इम्पेटस कराची किंग्स को एंड में मिल जाता। बट नॉनदलेस हम फिर एक बार डिस्कस करेंगे बाबर आजम के बारे में, बिकॉज ये बड़ा अच्छा टॉपिक है बाबर आजम के बारे में। दुनिया के नंबर 1 प्लेयर है और बेहतरीन से बेहतरीन बैट्समैन है, हम इसके बारे में जरूर बात करेंगे। हम आते हैं दूसरे मैच के में, जहां पे कलंदर्स और जलवीमी का भी उसी तरह का मैच हुआ, जहां पे एक तरफ शोएब मलिक खड़े रहे और उनको कोई सपोर्ट नहीं मिला। बट पहले हम बात करते हैं लाहौर कलंदर्स की बैटिंग के बारे में, उसके बारे में हमें कुछ बताइए।
Brilliant recovery from Lahore Qalandars. First 6 overs, 18 runs, three down, and then 25 for 4. From there on, Ben Dunk और टिम डेविड ने 107 की पार्टनरशिप की, and Tim David I think is a revelation in this PSL 6 Part 2. I always call it PSL 6 Part 2 because it's a Part 2.
ओके, हम देखेंगे क्या होता है इस मैच का। बहुत मजा आया एज ऑलवेज शाहिद भाई आपके साथ बात करने के लिए। आपके पास जो इनसाइडर है, जो अपने मोइन खान के बारे में बात की, आई एम श्योर बहुत लोगों ने मोइन खान को उनके कैरियर में जब वो खेलते थे, एक शार्प ब्रेन थे, जिस तरह से वो क्रिकेटिंग चलाते थे, और जैसे उन्होंने बताया कि अहमद शहजाद को उन्होंने हैंडल किया है। और बहुत अच्छी बात है कि अब उनका बेटा जो आजम खान है, जो मुझे लगता है पाकिस्तान का सुपरस्टार बन सकता है अगर उनको सही तरह उसी तरह मोइन खान ने गाइड किया। थैंक यू भैया, बहुत मजा आया आपके साथ बात करने का। Well, the winner of yesterday's competition is Raza Rahim, who predicted right that it is going to be Babar Azam and Sharjil Khal who will open the innings for Karachi Kings. Congratulations, Raza Rahim. The question for today's match is, Quetta Gladiators have a lot of big hitters. They have Andre Russell, they have Faf du Plessis, they have Sarfraz Ahmed, and the youngster Azam Khan. Who do you think will score big in today's game for Quetta Gladiators? Make sure to give in your answers on Mr. Cricket at aroidigital.tv, and you will win exciting prizes. I'm sure you guys are liking the show, and if there is anything you want to do better, anything you want us to do better, please do let us know. And I look forward to see you tomorrow again. Thank you very much. Allah Hafiz.